Riflechair channel on YouTube. Today what I'd like to talk to you is, well, what we have here in my hands. I'm not specifically talking about the rifle, although I'll give you a bit of a rundown over what I'm running today. But basically the purpose of this video is to talk about the scope mounting option that I have on this rifle and why it makes sense. We're going to be talking about WARNE rings and mounts. This particular example is the quick detach QD rings by WARNE. That's Whiskey Alpha Romeo November Echo WARNE. And this particular rifle, I'm running this setup simply because I like to be able to take the scope off and reapply the scope for hunting purposes. Basically, if you see me running around with a rifle without this scope on, it means that I have had a successful hunt. And so I have removed the optic for bear defense, such as when field dressing an animal or packing an animal from point A to point B in black bear and grizzly country, which is pretty much all of British Columbia where I live. So I like to be able to remove the scope for packing purposes and for carcass defense purposes, because if a bear comes onto the scene and sees you field dressing an animal, there have been numerous hunters that have been basically killed by bears, specifically grizzly bears, in a carcass defense situation. If you're in between a bear and a carcass, you're going to be attacked. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to go into why. I have another video that talks about bear defense, bear awareness material, so I'm not going to get into that here. We're here to talk about the scope. First of all, the rifle. I should say the scope mount, but first of all, the rifle. This here is a CZ 550 Lux in 9.3 by 62 Mauser. And with this rifle, I'm shooting a 286 grain round nose bullet at just under 2,400 feet per second. The recoil is quite manageable for my purposes, but it puts moose and elk down quick, very, very quickly. They don't go very far at all when they're hit with these bullets. The scope that I have on this rifle is a 2.5 to 8 Mark IV MRT optical sight, 30mm tube with M2 turrets. So these turrets are half a minute of angle, and when you're running, I should say half a minute of angle clicks, and when you're running a bullet with the size of 286 grains out of the 9.3 by 62 Mauser, which this is chambered in, having half a minute of clicks just makes a lot of sense. Okay, quick adjustments. I don't have to run through 14 clicks to get to the location I want to be at. I have to run 7 clicks, right? So I think in many ways quarter minute of angle scopes for hunting purposes is excessive in the accuracy department for what you really need. For most hunting applications, half a minute or even more, maybe even a minute click would be perfectly suitable for a hunting rifle. It gets you on target faster. There's less fidgeting to have to do in the field. So there's that. Essentially, this is the way this video is going to work. I'm going to throw a target up at 100 meters. I'm going to put 5 rounds through it. And we'll video it. You get a bit of an idea as to what the recoil on these, for a caliber such as the 9.2 by 62, what the recoil looks like. It's quite manageable. It's less than a 375 H&H. It's less than a 375 Ruger. And it's different from a 30-06. Maybe a bit more. But it's quite manageable. I put it in the 30-06 department. Maybe, but just a little bit more of a concussive effect, to put it that way. And then what I'll do is I'll remove the scope, and we'll reattach the scope and see how close to the zero we've maintained. So that's going to be kind of the idea behind this video. It's all got to do with these WARNE ring mounts, okay, that fit onto the 19mm dovetail, which is integral to the receiver of the CZ550. Pretty much, you can't mean this. These are specifically built rings for this rifle. So let's give her a go and see how things work out. So there it is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove this scope and reattach it, and then we'll see how our zero has been affected by that. Twist off there. Come on, seat. Okay, there's that, and there's that. This is actually a pretty cool system. I mean, if you had two of these sets of scopes, maybe you were going to run one optic for one purpose and another optic for a different purpose or application. Probably with a more of a standard caliber, like maybe 308 or 243 Winchester or something like that. If you're going varmint hunting, you want something maybe a little bit more magnification versus something that's going to be a little up close, whether it's marmots or whatever, something like that. Kind of a neat idea. I like it, but let's see if this thing holds. Remember, we're shooting a rifle here that has a little bit of recoil with the 9.3, so we should find out whether or not this scope is going to maintain a zero. Let's reacquire and see what happens. I put it down for about 15 minutes. I'm going to put another 3 rounds through it now, and see if my point of impact has changed a little bit. I know some rifles do that when they get extremely hot. Your point of impact and your group sizes are affected, and so we'll see. Should be an interesting test in and of itself. It's about 33 degrees Celsius out where I am right now, and it's difficult for things to cool down when it's that hot. Here we go. chance I blew one of those rounds. Okay, I'm going to take the scope off again and do this all over again. See what happens. Okay, so what I've done here is I had the rifle zeroed. Took the scope off. Put it on. You saw that already. Reacquired target. Didn't do anything with the sights. Shot 3 rounds. You saw what happened there. They all landed about 4 inches high. And frankly, the groups actually opened up just a bit too, and I know it's not the scope. Just to assure that, because I was a bit winded from walking down range after setting up the camera and shooting. I shot another 3 rounds. The group was maybe just a little bit better, but again, about 4 inches high. I've changed my sight setting, got things zeroed again. Now I'm going to remove the scope and shoot 3 more rounds. Let's do okay. Off with the scope. I'm going to have to reload more ammunition after this. Okay, scope is off. Let's put you back on. Now they say always tighten the rear mount first. Now I'm just giving this basic thumb pressure, right? I'm not if I were to guess, maybe 20 pounds I'm putting on it, torque it down. Okay, I was zeroed at the top left corner target, and now we'll try the top right. Need ammo. One, two, three. Hey, shoulder's certainly got a little bit sore, so this will be the last time I do this. Or maybe not. Huh. Okay, interesting test. I like the idea of quick detach scopes, but you're not going to keep your zero. We are now shooting 3 inches to the left at 100 meters. So you're going to lose about 3 minutes of angle every time you, 3 to 4 minutes of angle at 100 meters. Every single time you remove your scope, put it back on. You could be 3 to 4 inches to the left, to the top, low, or to the right. In this case, shooting the first time I did it, we were shooting 3 to 4 inches high. Second time I did it, now we're shooting 3 to 4 inches to the left. There you go, folks. So if anybody out there says you're guaranteed to get your zero every single time you remove your scope and reapply it, this test might tell you otherwise. How about that? I still like the rings. Once they are zeroed and you don't remove the scope, it stays zeroed. That much I can tell you. I do like the fact that if you're in a situation you don't need any special tools or star wrenches or Allen wrenches or any kind of special tool to remove the scope. You can just use your hands to remove the scope. If the rifle takes a fall, yes, it is possible for you to knock one of the clamps and loosen it. So when you're hunting, you should be should no doubt be making sure that they're still tight. How these things handle in snow and rain, I don't know yet. I'll find out this hunting season, because I am going to try them. So, am I completely sold on them? Not entirely. Do I think they're a good product? I think they're a reasonable product. Retail in Canada for me was $105 for these rings. That's before taxes and shipping. Right, so I was, you know, you're going to pay that kind of money. You expect that you're going to be getting a product that is going to maintain your zero. And that appears to be not the case. The group sizes seem to be about the same, but the point of impact has changed. Well, let's go have a look at the target, and that'll be
hey folks, so
you can see me or not.
Here's my zero when we first started. Okay, took the scope off. And this is where I was printing. It's a little bit high. Point of aim, point of impact. So in this case, it was more like maybe 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches high. I want to make sure that it wasn't just me, so I put another 3 rounds into the target after my heart had settled down after walking downrange. And geez, you know, it's moved again on me. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to reestablish my zero. Brought the group down, removed the scope again, shot that group 3 inches to the left now. This was the group before I had removed the scope. This was the group after I had removed the scope and reattached it. So, I don't think it's the scope. I don't think it's the rifle. Basically, the Mark IV loophole is you could attach that thing to a jackhammer all day and it's going to keep it zero. They're a robust scope. The CZ550, it's tight, and it doesn't. I mean, it's a hunting rifle. Maybe I could do a little bit with my loads, but generally these are, you can see the group sizes that I'm getting are 1 inch to 1.5 inches. I think that's pretty respectable for a hunting rifle. I will say though that 286 grain bullet, I'd actually done a little bit more shooting today other than just these groups, reconfirming my zero at 200 meters as well, and my shoulder is starting to feel it. So I was paying a little bit more attention to marksmanship and less to my shoulder, I'm sure these groups would be maybe half an inch tighter, 1/4 inch tighter, but there it is. So I'm not going to say if they're a good or bad product. I'll leave that up to you. Here's the evidence that I've been able to provide to you. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you found it educational. If you've been pondering the purchase of WARNE rings, it is a costly item to purchase, and so this is what you're going to end up with, in my estimation. So here is a little bit of information on the caliber of the CZ550 that I've been shooting. On the right is the 9.3 by 62 Mauser with a 286 grain round nose bullet. To the left is a 300 short mag with a 150 grain Barnes ballistic tip TSX, and to the left of there is a 7.62 by 39 Soviet casing. I should say the bullet on the right, the 286 grainer, is actually a Privy Partisan bullet, pretty much plain Jane. But a 286 grain chunk of lead is a lot of weight, and it delivers quite a bit of energy to target. I'm generally able to feel pretty confident about pretty much anything that I'm shooting at within 300 meters with this particular caliber. It really starts to drop at about 300 meters. So after that, I'm not taking the shot. The 300 short mag to the left of the 9.3 that you see here is will definitely deliver good velocity and energy out to extended distances. But very rarely in this part of the world that I go hunting are you taking any shots really past 200 meters. So I'm very confident shooting with the 9.3.
For all intent and purposes, what the 9.3 represents is what you could consider to be kind of a European 35 Whelen. So far as performance, it has a little bit more case capacity than the 35 Whelen, but pretty much what they do is fill the same niche. I've taken moose with a 35 Whelen. I am a total and complete believer in the caliber and what it can do to a moose. I've moved to the 9.3, and I really like it. I've had some great success with it. Originally, some of its history around this particular case goes back to Africa, and it was popular with German colonies because this caliber can fit into pretty much any standard Model 98 Mauser box magazine, internal box magazine, because it's fairly short. It'll sit in any 98 standard length Mauser action. Very good for hunting African game and defense from lions, and so that's what it was used for. So that's kind of its ancestry. Very interesting caliber, and suitable for pretty much any large game in North America. I very much like it.
Okay. Riflechair signing off. Hope you enjoy the video. Maple Leaf up.